Wow, we are so lucky to be living in a world of technology, and that is allowing me to connect with you right now and allowing you to see me. With that said, I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening regarding where you are. And I'm so happy to be part of this special program dedicated to the 52nd birthday of Pastor Sunday Adelaja, who happens to be my husband. So I'm welcoming you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And in advance, I'm welcoming those who will be joining later or those who will be watching the program after it is done. My regards to all of you. I also want to commend those who are with me on this special. Today is the 4th day. Before me, we had Gideon, who took the first day, who spoke about Pastor Sunday's best books. Then on the second day, we had Dr. Arno, who spoke about Pastor Sunday's chief values. Just yesterday, we had Elizabeth Aino and Yomi Success, who were describing Pastor Sunday as a mentor. And here I am today to do an exposition on Pastor Sunday as a family man. I don't think there is any other person, a better person to treat this topic like myself. So in this topic, it's like I'm alone and I have to do it. And I'm very, very, very happy to do it. And I would like to seize the opportunity to wish Pastor Sunday a blissful, a blessed, a blossoming birthday. He has lived. And I just pray that God will bless you with more life. God knows how long you will live, and we pray that all those years, the days remaining, will be spent in God's glory, will be spent in God's purpose. You are a blessing. Your life has not been in vain, and I'm one of the benefactors of your wonderful life. So happy birthday, many happy returns, and God's blessing. So like I mentioned earlier, the topic I'll be treating is congratulating pastor as a family man. The life of a man is comprised of many parts. God is multifunctional, and we are created in God's image and in God's likeness. And to some extent, our lives are also multifunctional. God didn't create us just for one thing. He created us for many things. And like we know, Pastor Sunday is an author, Pastor Sunday is a mentor, Pastor Sunday is a strategist, and also he happens to be a family man. He happens to decide one day to have a family, and here we are. So I am his wife, and to help me to explore and to open this program and this topic I'll be treating, I've prepared some slides. So I will ask that we start showing the slides, and we go. So 52 years, and out of these 52 years, we've been married for almost 25 years. And if we've been married for almost 25 years, that means I've known Pastor Sunday for about 26 years. So I can say that I've known him for half of his lifetime on earth. Not bad. So we'll go to the next slide. It's been a good adventure, and he's really a family man. A family man is not just a married man. A family man is a man that understands what it means to be the head of a family. Can we go back to the second slide, please? So family man is a person that is mentally prepared for marriage, before marriage, and the one who keeps the pace of his responsibility even after marriage. So I won't call, I don't think the dictionary will call every married man a family man. Let's go back to the first slide, please. So a family man is a responsible married man. A family man is a man who is taking responsibility for his family. A family man is a person that understands the span of the responsibility it takes to be a good husband. In basic teachings, in family classes, normally a man will be told that he is the priest of the family. A priest will pray for the family. A priest will teach the family. And since we are a Christian family, so a priest will teach the family in the ways of the Lord, in the biblical way. And I can confirm to that when it comes to family, when I'm being asked about to give an assessment to Pastor Sunday as an husband, I always say he is trying. He's trying to be a good husband, because it's a process. Being a husband and being a wife, or being anything in life, but when it gets to relationship, it's never a done deal. It's never a done job, because we are dealing with humans. We are dealing with living beings. He is a living being. That means processes are going on in him, processes are going on around him all the time, and he has to deal not with a static being. He as a husband has to deal with a wife that is also constantly changing. I think it's obvious when it comes to mood swings. We know that women, they go through mood swing, but that is not the only thing that happens to women, and that is not the only thing her husband needs to deal with. Yes, so being a family man is a man that is aware of the challenges, the man that is aware of the challenges, and that is aware of the weight of taking that bold step of marrying a woman, and consciously keeping the standard, keeping the level. So like I said, in basic family classes, a man will be taught to be a priest, and I can say that Pastor Sunday has always tried to be a good priest, praying for the family. We are lucky to have 3 children. We'll get to that later. So a lot of prayer has gone to my life from him. A lot of prayers has gone to the children's life, and a lot of teaching. Of course, in the family, you have to teach in a different style. It's not a pulpit kind of teaching, and it's not a commanding type of teaching, because that won't work. That won't work. So it's a different, it's a tender style of teaching, and Pastor has been good in passing his point across in a gentle way. So also in the basic family classes, they will teach you that a husband is supposed to be the provider of the family, and Pastor has always been aware of this, and personally is a generous man. Yeah, so it's been good. I know that some women, they go through the horror of trying to get some money from their husbands, and they have to find their way through to him to get some extra coins. But that has never been the case with me. And when we got married, I was still a student. So to some extent, I married earlier than I planned to. So when we got married, we were still a student. And though I was on scholarship and I had my stipend, but still what I was earning wasn't enough to sustain a family. So obviously it was the main breadwinner, and it was doing a good job. It was giving me more than I asked for. It was giving me more than I expected. Yeah, so he has always been a good provider. And of course, later I finished my studies, and I also started earning money. Yeah, but still, it's still of the philosophy that regardless of how much you earn, I will still try to be the main provider for the family. So he has that understanding, he has that knowledge, and I am lucky that I don't need to make hysterics to get money. I don't need to write letters. I don't need to involve friends. I don't need to involve in-laws. I don't need to be manipulative to get basic things, especially in the early days of the family. Yeah. So a husband is also a protector, and a spiritual protector that is linked with being a priest, an emotional protector, and it's very clear. I think Pastor Sunday's profession has helped him to understand human psyche, and he is able to protect a person emotionally, and he is also very careful. It's also very careful when it comes into the relationship. I see a careful, I see a tender approach to me when we need to solve cases, when we need to deal with different things. So I can confirm that Pastor Sunday knows what it means to be a married man, and is always trying his best to do that. So I am happily married, yeah, and though my happiness is not only connected to what comes from my husband, yeah, but your husband understanding what it means to be an husband, and your husband working hard to do his part in a family can really boost the happiness that is inside, and that is supposed to be inside everybody, not being a burden, not being a cause of unnecessary pain, and always working hard to make things right can really boost an existing happiness, an existing state of happiness in a person. So Pastor has brought a lot of joy. Pastor has brought a lot of good things into my life, and for that I'm really very, 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 very happy, very happy. I'm remembering the first time I saw him, because obviously there was a time of acquaintance before we got married. And I remember that was around Moscow, suburb of Moscow. I was attending a Christian conference, and he was also attending that conference, and we were lodged in an hostel, and I was going with some friends from the hostel to the hall where the conference would take place, and I was relatively a new student. And so we'll be going, some people will be introducing us to some people. So it was in that process that I got introduced to Pastor Sunday, and I and my friends, we were introduced to many people, but there's something about Pastor Sunday that it leaves an impression. It wasn't too famous, or at least to me that time, but there's a way he carries himself across that it makes it easier for you to remember him. You know, his smile, his laughter, his look, and the way he greets you. So I remember, and I'm not the only person that remember. Almost all the people who were there remembered him. And then luckily to solidify out of my pocket again. So to solidify that, sorry for that little lapse, to solidify that, it was also translating from English language to Russian language at the so-called conference, actually at the conference, not the so-called conference, I'm so sorry, at the conference. So, so that falsified and solidified the memory, yeah. And if you know him, he's an expressive person. It does everything it does with style. So while he was translating, the way he was translating, the way he was passing the thing across, people were laughing. So that also made me, and not only me, but me today, to remember him more. So when we met a year after that, then I remember, oh, I know your name, I remember you, and things like that. So we have a slide to show where before we got married. Yeah, I was a student, like I mentioned before we got married. That was in my hostel. That was in Vladimir. That was in Russia. I was living in Russia. Pastor Sunday was living in Minsk, and he just moved to Kiev at that time. And that was he coming to see me in Vladimir, and that was before we got married. Okay, so what can I say about his attitude to me before we got married? No, of course, when somebody is in love, you don't really give an assessment when somebody is in love, but the way a person treats you in courtship also goes a long way. Yeah, so it was like a big brother. It was like a good brother to me, and we connected very well. It was a kind of divine connection. It was a kind of divine love, because we didn't really know one another very much, and we didn't live in the same city. Yeah, it was. No, people fall in love in different ways, and God has his ways of bringing people together. And now 25 years has come, and we are sure that we didn't make a mistake, and we've had a great life. Even with all the challenges, we have more goods than bad, and God has been good to us as a family. So here on the screen, you can see some of our wedding picture. That was in 1994, and that was in the city of Kiev. Here we are at the registry, because here up till now, church certificate is not valid without the registry marriage certificate. So we go to registry, not because we want to go, but it's part of the law. No marriage is legal here without the registry. So there we are at the registry, and it's so nice. If you see, pastor wasn't in white, because it's been a long and hard attitude in him, and hard feeling, and hard awareness to be different. You know, is a creative personality. Yeah, normally you will expect husband either to be in a darker color, but is an expressive personality. Is a bright personality, and even in his dresses, he expresses that. So that's what we got, and that's what we had on the wedding day. And if you notice, I was laughing, and I think at least in the central picture I was laughing because Pastor was to sign the certificate, and since he's a man of a great sense of humor, so we had fun. We had fun because Pastor was cracking jokes, he was making jokes, and it's really helped me. It's helped me because I was tense. Yeah, a lot of things to do before the marriage, though it took a big responsibility. He did most of the things because, like I said, I wasn't living in Kyiv, I was in Russia, so most of the arrangements were done by him, and he even chose the wedding gown, and he had a good taste. It was good. So, but still, I was tense to some extent. So having all this joke, all these jokes and cracks, they really they made life easier for us. So there we were at the registry. After that, soon we're going to show a video, but I will be speaking, but the video will be playing for a short time. after the registry, we went to take pictures in the city. We were just walking around. Okay, this was just immediately after our wedding, still at the registry. So friends came to celebrate our historical day with us. After that, we went to the downtown of the city. We walked around. After that, we went to the church. We had a church service. After that, we had reception. So it was a whole day thing. But I mean, after 25 years, it's good now to go back and then remember the goodness and the faithfulness of God. And like I said, 25 years has passed, and the Lord is good, is faithful, and our marriage may not be the best, but it's still not the worst marriage in the world. So I think we'll stop at that. Yeah, our wedding video is on the internet, so anybody can watch it. It's a long video. Okay, so we successfully got married 25 years ago, and after 3 years we started having children, and that was not by accident. I was thinking about it, and that was mainly thanks to pastors' mature approach to life, because even before marriage, you had to discuss everything, and it was very clear, and it was even his idea first that we won't have children until I finish studying, and that is also one of our core value in our church, that when people get married, we advise them not to start having children immediately. They need time to get used to living together, because sometimes when people are in love, they think everything will fall in line, but it's not always that. It's not always like that. So it's good to give time to adjust. Although of course there are exceptions to the rule, yeah, but mainly when people are able to do this, it's highly encouraged, so that the two have become one before the third person comes into the picture and into the family. Yeah, so after 3 years, by the time I finished my studies, we started having children. So there's a picture of me in this slide, so that will be the next slide, where we're expecting Perez. Perez is our first child, the only boy we have. So that slide should come soon after this slide. Oh, yeah, so that is it. That was 22 years ago when we were expecting Perez, and Pastor was an expectant father. I wanted to talk about his attitude to me during my pregnancies. I successfully had 3 pregnancies, and now, you know, being older and knowing what some women, what they go through during pregnancy with some men, gives me just reason to thank God for my pregnancies, because I didn't need to prove to any person that this is your child or this is not your child. And our children are children of love. Our children are expectant children. We expected all of them. Before they were born, a lot of prayer were put into their lives, and from day one, special care was taken of me. I was relieved of many responsibility. I didn't need to worry about gaining or not gaining weight. I may not do nothing. So I'm, you know, going back, I'm really very grateful for the care, for the attention, for the relief I had during my pregnancies. Thanks to God, though, my pregnancies were not too difficult. Yeah, the first one due to inexperience, but apart from that, God was good to me during my pregnancy. But still, my husband was always there, was always around me, was always expecting those children, was there with me during most of the shopping for the children, you know, choosing the prime, choosing the bed, and it was a good thing, a good experience to have such a man by your side when you were expectant of the children. And of course, after also having the children, he created a system, because it's a man of system. He created a system of assistance, of help. So I had people helping me, because unfortunately it was very much into ministry at that time, but it didn't leave me alone with the children. It wasn't my problem. He found way of creating alternatives for himself. He found ways of creating substitutes for himself. And though those years I wasn't totally satisfied, I was complaining that it was him I needed to help me more than other people helping me. But over the years, I've come to value, you know, what he did to help me. I've come to value his mind, his plan, and the effort he puts into me not being overstressed while raising these children. So, and that's another reason why I'm grateful. I'm thankful to him that I'm not a single mother, because some mothers, though they have husbands, but they are like single mothers, because you know you have these absentee fathers, you have fathers who just give money, you have husbands who don't really understand what their wives go through, and especially if the wife is not working. And some men, due to ignorance, you know, don't understand how a wife and how a mother can get tired so easily. So I'm very happy, and on the screen now you can see one of Pastor's books, Successful Marriage Takes Work, and Pastor really worked hard especially at the earlier stage, I would say early years of our marriage. It took a very, very, very good responsibility, because like I said, I think I married young. You know, I married when I was 25. I started having children at 25, but still it was more experience. By then it was already over 30. So in my evaluation, it put more work into our marriage to work at the early years. So I'm grateful and I'm thankful to have such a thoughtful and a family man. So the next slides will just show some fragments of our children coming. So that was 22 years ago. That was the maternity home where I had Paris, and that was actually the 1st of January 1998. And that was when I got discharged from the hospital, and Paris was wrapped, because that was the culture. Actually, it was cold, but it was wrapped like that, not just because of the cold, but that was how things were done. Those years, things are changing. So I have my flowers, and unfortunately you can't see it very well, but I was wearing a coat, and I was seeing that fur coat for the first time, and that was because that was the gift I got for giving Pastor Sunday a child, for giving him his firstborn. So he came to the hospital with a gift for me. I still have the gift. I'm keeping it because it's a good memory. It's so thoughtful of him. Actually, I got a gift for all the 3 children I had. How I wish I had more to get more gifts. But I mean, just to show you his level of intelligence, his level of emotional intelligence, and that describes him as a family man. The other picture was the same day, but that was already in the apartment. Sorry, let's go back to the last picture. Yeah, so the second picture on this slide is still the same day, but now we're already at home, and that is Pastor, looking at Paris and praying for him, because I'd seen Paris like for 4 days before. Actually, he was able to come in to see Paris, but I mean, the picture might not say much to you, but to me it says a lot. You know, the way he was looking at him, the way he was his feeling towards Paris were very strong, although later he showed a stronger feeling towards Zoe. But I mean, those were good days and those were good memories. So the next slide will show, let me see, yeah, that was 4th of January 1998. That was the first day Paris appeared in our church, and we were blessing him as a newborn baby. The next slide will show us riding home, collecting Zoe, right? That was Zoe, now a new arrival in our family. That was Paris. I got my flower as usual, and I got a rich golden necklace for carrying Zoe and for having Zoe. So that's good. Then after that, I think the next slide will be Pearl. That was already Pearl in February 2004. Pearl was born in January, but that was the first time she appeared in the church, and we were blessing her as also a newborn. Yeah. So those are special moments, and I'm lucky, I'm blessed to have a pastor around all those years and not just around insignificantly, but awarely around and doing his best and playing his role as a new dad, as a family man. And I wish more men will rise up to be by the sides of their wives, supportive of their wives, keep working, to relieve their wives, especially, when they are pregnant or when the children are little, when the children are small. I had that privilege, and I'm grateful, and that's why I can congratulate Pastor Sunday with smile on my face, because he had really invested a lot in helping me to become the person I am, and in relieving me of some stress in life. Okay, let's see what we have in the next slide now. So that was still Pearl we were blessing, and now, all of us after Pearl, unfortunately, we didn't have more children. So we are 5 in our family, and to God's glory, we are still 5. And those are just 2 pictures to show you where we are, how we look, how we used to look, and where we are. So at this time, I would like to remind you of a promo that is going on right now. I was told that as a present from Pastor Sunday, he has decided to give all his books at a discounted rate this month or before his birthday. And for you to have that, you would have to send an email. Yeah, it won't be eligible if you just write on the comment that you want. No, you have to send an email, title it promo. Yeah, title it promo. And if you don't know the email address to send it to, it's a very easy email address. It's DSA'S@gmail.com. So DSA's books, that will be 9 letters without apostrophe, to be DSA's books, all together, one words, @gmail.com. So that is very important. Seize that opportunity to get those books at those discounted rate, and also there will be an opportunity to be part of this discussion. So if you will like to call in, there is this tradition of calling in. So if you would like to call in, you will have that opportunity, but you have to register now. And to register, you have to look for Move Agents on Facebook Messenger. Move Agents, that is 10 letters. Move Agents, plural. So you look for that and just send us a note that you would like to call in, and at the appropriate time we'll call you, and we'll be able to connect with you. And on the screen from time to time, I think you will be seeing the 2 books chosen for this topic, that is, Am I Ready to Become a Husband? Am I Ready to Become a Wife? Which is basically reminding us that marriage and relationship in general is not something to jump into without preparation. It's reminding me of what is written in the Bible, that if the saints are hardly saved, then you can imagine what happens to the unbelievers. So if those who prepare for their marriage are hardly surviving the marriage, then you can imagine the trauma, the downfall people who enter marriage without preparation will face in their lives. Marriage is about emotion. Marriage is about dealing with another person. And first, you have to deal with yourself. You have to understand yourself, and then learn to understand other people before the marriage can can work. So if you have not read any of these books, I really recommend it. And there's another book, Successful Marriage Takes Work. I've spoken about that. There are other books. Just go through the list of Pastor Sunday's book, The Happiness of a Man, The Happiness of a Woman, Heavenly Atmosphere in the Marriage, and probably many other books to prepare you for marriage and to give you something you can teach other people about marriage. So I've spoken so far about pastor's involvement in the family, about his intentional involvement, about his mind involvement, about the plans, about the things he does for the smooth running of the family, and how we've come thus far, and we're now 5 in the family. For the sake of those who are not familiar with our family, our first son is Perez, which means breakthrough. Then we have a daughter, Zoe, which is God's life. And then we have another daughter called Pearl, which is God's riches, God's wealth in our life. And we're all happy to have a head, to have a father, to have a man that cares about all of us in the family. So the second picture shows how our family looks now. We have changed. I used to be the tallest person in the family, but now I think I would be the third in height in the family. One of our children, Perez, has already overthrown me. I'm barely surviving as a second now, but we think Pearl will catch up with me. So I think I'll be the third person. The only person that can take over is Zoe, and I think she's more like the dad. So life is about change. So here I am. I used to be the tallest, and now I have to let the younger ones grow. Like Jesus said, or was it John that said it? That I must decrease and Jesus increases. So that is it. So let's continue on this journey. And the next slide, yeah. This picture, that is Pastor Sunday holding Pearl, and he loved carrying the children. Unfortunately, they are too big for him to be carrying now, but he derived a kind of solace, he derived a kind of enjoyment from carrying the children. And there he was carrying Pearl, and at the same time ministry. Like I said, he was involved in the lives of the children. The children may not know this because they can just see some pictures, but I think just this demands that I said is that he loved carrying the children. There will be other pictures where he loved, like I told you, he has this special gaze. The way he looked at them when they were small will show you that he wanted them, he loved them, he was happy to be their dad, he was happy to take responsibility for them. There we have 2 children. I didn't have twins. We're just having some family friend visiting us. The whole slide, please. Yeah, the old slide where we have 2 children backward. Yeah, going backward. So we just had some family friends visiting us, and they also had a child around that time. So we're still going backward, not forward. Yeah, backward still. Yeah, so one more time. Yes, yeah. So they were visiting us. They were born around, I think it was just 2 weeks difference. So that's why they looked like that. So I never had twins, so that was Paris. Okay, after that, then the other picture shows the children already older. Like I said, he enjoyed carrying them, he loved carrying them, and then he loved playing with them. And I also didn't value that very well until after some time. You know, there's this kind of connection that comes when dads play with their children, and I think that has formed a part of the psyche of my children, and a kind of connection they have with him, and I don't think they can ever forget those game times, those wrestling they had, and the way they go to him, the way they start the play, and the way it was just on their level playing with them. And it seemed it will always be like that, but unfortunately the children have grown, and even to some extent it's inappropriate playing with them now the way it was playing with them. Now is a total ball game. But I mean, those were special times, those were wonderful times, and I really thank God for having such a family man in the family, for having such a father figure, a present father, and there was no wall between Pastor Sunday and the children. They're always coming to him, they're always initiating the game, the wrestling. It's awesome. I was more responsible for other things. I was responsible for schoolwork, I was responsible for other things. But then when it comes to game, when it comes to that emotional part, development of the children, he did a good job. Okay, the next slide will be what we call Together in the Ministry. And one of the messages I would like to portray with this slide is that I never intended to be in the ministry. I wasn't interested. I was satisfied with being a Christian. I was satisfied with going to the church. I was satisfied with even giving money to the church. But I wasn't brought up with the value of becoming a minister. It is at the Embassy of God Church that we teach that everybody is a minister, that the kingdom of God is a kingdom of priests and kings. But where I was coming from, I could serve in the church, and I was in the choir, yeah, but being in the what we call fivefold ministry, it wasn't my dream, because nobody motivated me for that, nobody encouraged me for that, and I didn't even think I could be one. So, but coming to meet Pastor Sunday and coming to be close with his style of ministry, and I often say you cannot be in the church for so long and not change. So I started believing in myself. And another thing that helped me was Pastor Sunday always encouraging me, always saying good things about me. And later I came to know that that's a good principle in leadership, that you don't deal with people on the level they are, and you don't talk about people on their level. You talk about them the way you want them to be. You talk about them from the point, from that point where you are taking them to. So living together, I will be hearing something like this. Pastor Sunday will be saying, oh, my wife is so talented, or my wife is more talented than me. I believe there will be a time she will be in the ministry. So it will be saying good things about me, and I will be looking at myself. I will be thinking, is that me? I don't feel that. I don't think I can do that. So always, and up to today, it says good, positive, what I call over exaggeration. Yeah. So from the first year, from the first time, it had always over exaggerated my abilities. And that has worked well for me, because when you constantly hear good things about yourself, you start believing in yourself. You start believing maybe it will work, maybe I can try. And that is what has brought me to where I am now. And it has deposited so many good words in my life that I cannot even go back. Something I said, if even Pastor Sunday now takes back all his words, it will be too late. You know, now I'm exposed. Now I'm on another resource level. Now I'm on another energy level. Now I am in another mental state. Now I have believed myself, and that I can't even go back. Yeah. So me being a minister today, I should dedicate it, of course, to God. I think that should be very obvious. But then the next person I can dedicate that to is my husband. And I know that a lot of pastors' wives, they hate their husbands, they hate the ministry, because they think the husband is is an hypocrite. Yeah, they think he lives a different life at home, and then he lives a different life in the ministry. I want to let you know that I was there. Yeah, I was there. There were times I was always thinking like that. But what can I say today? It's all depend on the spiritual. Of course, there will be people like that. You know, there is space and a place for everything in this world. Not everything will be perfect. Yeah, people go through things. People struggle. Yeah, but all things being equal, those days I was thinking like that from my own level, from my own understanding. But the more I grew and the more I myself became a minister, helped me to get a better understanding, you know, of what it is and of what, you know, really happened. So often the way we assess people is more about our state and about what we are going through and the things we mix together in our lives. So if you're having struggles, if you're having problem with somebody maybe being hypocritical or any other things, try to work on yourself, try to work on your spirituality. It might be more about you. You might be the one to grow up than to be able to, because now when I became a minister, looking from that angle, I'm able to assess the situation better. But like I said, a lot of pastors' wives, they hate the ministry, they hate their husband. But I love my husband. I love the ministry because my husband has given me a lot. The ministry has given me a lot. I owe a lot to my husband. I owe a lot to the ministry. And I'm trying my best to keep the legacy of my husband, to keep the message my husband is trying to spread, and its legacy is that all may come to the knowledge of Christ. So I was encouraged. I also know situations when because I wasn't so expressive, but I know of cases when women are natural leaders, they are pastors' wives, they will want to do something, and all they hear is your place is in the kitchen, take care of the children, you can't do this. I never had to struggle with that. You know, I was always being encouraged, I was always being brought up, I was always being thrown into the waters to swim. I was always given more opportunities, more privileges that I thought I could manage. And like I said, all those has really helped to open me up. All those have really helped to develop me, and I like my today me than than I used to be. As I grew up spiritually, many childish things, they just fell off, they just left me, and I'm able to think about higher things. I'm able to think about more important things. So I'm really grateful for that, for always, bring me up. When he has to go to the stage, it would take me along with him, and I wouldn't understand what I was doing there. Then it would make me to speak on the stage. And at the beginning, I was always shaking. In the beginning, I was thinking, I don't have anything to say. In the beginning, I was always thinking, my goodness, how could people preach for 30 minutes? How could they take one verse of the scripture and be talking? What is in that scripture that you have to talk about for 30 minutes? But now I can talk about a scripture for 1 hour. That is again confirming that our perception is tied to our level, to where we are, to what we go through. When we move up, when we rise up, we're able to see from other angle, then we have a better understanding. But me in life and in my ministry, I've always been encouraged. There's never been a case that you can't do it. Even sometimes I feel I'm being over pushed. No, it's like too much is demanded of me. So I don't have that experience of you can't do it. It's not for women. It's not for this. So I've always had an open space, and thanks to my husband for that. Okay, so I think we have few pictures showing that. Then the next picture, which is previous birthday celebration. This is to remind me of saying that Pastor Sunday's birthday has always been a special moment in our church. Our church meaning people in the church, they've always been grateful people. And from the very first year of the church, and I think it's like that in many churches, pastor's birthday has always been a big event. Like, I just put 2 pictures of its celebration when it was 35 and then when it was 40, just to show how they love him, how they care for him, and every year it's always a project. And now his birthday again is fast approaching, and now a committee is working on that, cracking brains, looking for ideas how to celebrate his birthday. So it's always been a great event, and just to show the gratitude of the people. The people he serves, they understand that his birthday is a time to give back to him. And I also wanted to say that if outsider, although the church people are not outsider, but compared to the family, because to some extent, I'm like, the closest person to him. And then the children comes, then other people comes in. So pastor's birthday is something we have to celebrate, because even if we don't celebrate it, other people will celebrate it. It's just like the case when little children were glorifying Jesus, and then the Pharisees, the high priest, told Jesus to tell them to keep quiet. And then Jesus said, no problem, I can tell them to keep quiet, but then the stones will start glorifying me. So, I mean, it's a celebration, it's a tradition, and it's another way of us just showing appreciation for how God has used him to live something big, something significant in many people's life. But at the same time, in the family, we don't compete with the church. We don't compete with people in the church, because we are okay in the family. We feel love in the family. We feel care. We have hearing ears. We have attention. We know that if we need him, we can get him. So the church is not a threat. His ministry is not a threat. We understand that those are just different facets of his life. So we know where we are, and we know where other things are. So that's why it's such a joy, and that's why we join the whole world in celebrating a rare gift that the Lord has given, first to us in the family, then to the world in general. So let's see what we have in the next slide. Meanwhile, we have the books. Am I ready to be a wife? Am I ready to be a husband? In our lives together, we've had a lot of trips, especially before the children started going to school. When they started going to school, before they started going to school, we traveled with them a lot, and that was also what Pastor wanted. Actually, at a time, it was taking parents out of school to travel with him, and I think those times also left a great impression in Perez's life. You know, the way a father treats the children means a lot to the wife, you know, because it can have a good relationship with me while mistreating the children. Yeah, so I'm always happy when he treats the children well, but actually always treats the children well. So we've had trips in our life, and Pastor always concerned, always happy that the children are able to go with us. We go through all the hurdles, you know, the trolleys and the plane, and the extra care, the extra concern about traveling with children. But he was able to incorporate that with anything he was doing. But of course, that had to drop when the children started going to school. They couldn't go with us. Then at a time, I couldn't travel like I used to travel with him. But those trip times were fun time. They were another way, you know, of knowing one another. And, you know, actually traveling is education. Yeah. So not just learning about the world, but you see things you can improve in your life. You see different approaches, and you're able to evaluate the good things you have and the things to involve. So here was after our wedding. The first picture, we went back to Vladimir. So the first picture was in Vladimir, Russia. Like I said, I was studying in Vladimir. I was living in Vladimir, and I still have some great friends in Vladimir. And then the other trip was in Vinnytsia. Vinnytsia is in Ukraine. So just ministerial, missionary trips. And the next picture is just a picture of an overseas trip, and there Zoe was with us. That will be the next picture. If we can have the next slide, please. Yeah, so that was Zoe with us, who were in Holland at that time. I mean, just to show you that we're always trying to be together, trying to build the family as we built the ministry, and it has worked well with us. The children, they got used to having missionary parents, and I think it's part of their value, and I think it's also part of their psyche now. All right, let's see what we have next then. Okay, you know, spending time with one another, finding leisure time, finding fun time is very important. And I can say that I'm rarely the initiator of the leisure time. I'm rarely the initiator of the fun time. All the work we've had, all the outings we've had, most of them were coming from Pastor. It was Pastor that would say, okay, let's go out, let's go to downtown, let's go here, let's go have rest. Let's travel here, let's go there. So he understands the importance of getting the family engaged. And again, I was not very cooperative because I was thinking, oh, a lot of things to do in the house. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. But I've changed. I've changed over the time. And now I enjoy the time when we're able to do some things together. Okay, I think after that, what do we have after that? Yeah, you know, it's not just me and him. Actually, the children helped us to go out a lot because, you know, when you have kids, you have to take them out for fresh air, and not just for fresh air, because children are very active and you just want to go out with them. And when you have little children, you are very creative and you get a lot of initiative to go out. They have to go to the amusement park. They have to go to, you know, places like McDonald's, KFC. It's part of their upbringing, and they don't go alone. We go with them. So, and as the children were having fun, we also have fun with them. So that's one of the benefits of having children. Okay, after that, wedding anniversary, we've always celebrated our wedding anniversary. Not a year has passed without us celebrating our wedding anniversary. So this was just when we were 9 years old. This year we'll be celebrating, by God's grace, our 25th wedding anniversary, and that will be silver jubilee. We are blessed. Okay. Yeah, so I'm almost getting to the end of my slide, and this is just to say, we really, if God's permit, we really wish Pastor Sunday many happy returns of his birthday. We wish him Godspeed, and we want to say we really love him. We pray that God's perfect will be done in his life. And at this time also, I want to remind people about the promo. I want to remind you that you should seize the opportunity to use the promo to get books for yourself, for your friends, for your children at a discounted rate. Yesterday, I was listening to an interview where somebody asked Oprah what she would give to the expected royal baby. I hope he hasn't come, right? We are still expecting, yeah, the British royal baby. And she said that child will have more than enough books in his or her entire life. Yeah, so the books are not only for you. The books are for people you love, people you think the book will be a benefit for. So remember to send an email to dsbooks@gmail.com and title it promo or books at discounted rate. And also, like we mentioned before, if you want to call in, if you want to contribute to the discussion on ground, please, you're welcome. Find us on Facebook Messenger. Look for Move Agents, S at the end. Register your intention to call, and we will call you back at the appropriate time. So it's been fun to be here, to be part of this special program dedicated to the 52nd birthday of a great icon, of a great man, and to show again that my husband is a family man and that he's trying his best. It's not perfect, neither am I perfect. But we all understand that God has brought us together for something greater than both of us, and that we are a blessing to each other's life. And what a blessing to have each other. What a blessing that when one is strong, when one is weak, the other can be strong for the person. And what a blessing that when one is cold, the other can warm up the second person. And I want to end my time, this part of my time with you by showing a video gift that Pastor Sunday gave me when I was 40. That was 6 years ago. And this was a surprise. It was working on this without me knowing. And I think it was released on my birthday. That was 2013. That was when I turned 14. So as a musical break, let's go back to the 6th year and let's see what Pastor Sunday, the family man, what he gave me on my Yeah, good memory. Done 6 years ago, more than 6 years ago. But it's an everlasting message, an evergreen message from a loving husband, from a family man. Like I said, I'm just blessed. It's a blessing to have Pastor Sunday in my life, not just as a pastor, not just as a mentor, but as an husband. So again, many happy returns of your meaningful and of having you in my life as an husband. God's speed, God's blessing, and all the best that a life can offer. Happy celebration. So that's it, yeah? We have some calls? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so let me just, it seems we have some calls coming in, we'll see, yeah? And let me just remind you again about the promo. Seize the opportunity. Pastor Sunday is giving all his books at a discounted rate this month. That's how he celebrates. Promo or discounted books, send it to DSA'S books@gmail.com. So you have DSA'S without apostrophe, then books at gmail.com. And to call in, you have to find us on Facebook Messenger. Move Agents, 10 letters all together. You register your intention to call and we will call you back. So once again, I want to thank you for allowing me into your life, into your schedule, and sharing this time with you. I hope you've been blessed. I hope my time with you, my interaction with you has improved your life, your understanding. And for those who are married, I hope you will continue being a better person, first for yourself, then later for the person God has put by your side. And if you have children, for the children, because we can't give other people what we don't have. Yeah, so, and I want to encourage the husbands there. Sometimes it's very to satisfy a woman, to satisfy a lady, but keep trying, and after some time you will reach that consensus, you will reach that level when you'll be able to reap all what you have sown into her. You know, you have to sow a lot into a woman before you start reaping. But women, we know how to give back. Yeah, so don't be discouraged, and be the family man for your wives, for your children. Be an example of emulation to many people. And because our life and our world, we need real men. We don't have enough of real men. We don't have enough of real husbands. So if you work on yourself, if you will improve yourself, you will become a blessing, not just to your immediate family, but you will become a blessing to the whole world in general. So family is a gift, family is a trust, and we have to keep working. Family is a living organism. Yeah, it's a living organism. So let's continue to feed our love. Let's continue to do our best. I understand we're having some audio problems, but with the call, but I think it should be okay soon, right? Yeah. So like I said, it's I'm happy to do what I did with you today, and let's have the call. Okay?
No.
Hello, hello, hello. Good.
Bonjour, bonjour, Pastor Basse.
Bonjour, Simplice. Is that you?
Is that who?
Who is that?
That is this innocent.
Innocent. Sorry, Innocent.
This is the first time I'm getting to talk to you directly.
Yeah, your voice sounds like Simplice.
No, this is innocent.
Simplice is from Congo. He's also a French speaker. Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully one day you will meet Simplice. Simplice is
He
just
lives in France too.
he visits Paris quite often, so yeah, it will be. So your voice sounds like him, and I was thinking, wow, could that be Simplice, my brother? So
No,
Innocent, so happy
yes, yes.
having you calling in. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. I want to tell you that you have a very radiant smile, and the DSA is lucky
Oh,
to have you.
thank
Uh,
you.
I listened to you attentively. All I saw was a partner who,
Can we
although you say
increase the
you.
sound, or can you speak louder? Um,
How about now? Is it better?
yeah, now it's better.
I said when I listened to you, all I heard was a partner who is the sound okay now?
Yeah, the sound is perfect now, Innocent.
All right, okay. I have three questions for you.
Okay,
The first question,
but Innocent, before you ask me your question, I want to
yes,
reconfirm, to the best of my knowledge, you are not married.
yes. No, I'm not married.
You are not married. Okay, all right. Now
Yes.
ask your questions.
Okay. The first question is somehow general.
All
I
right.
want you to address because there's something I learned recently because I do teach children regularly.
Okay.
And I also had a challenge with my, let's say, my family. I have a younger brother whose name is Joseph.
Okay.
So he's very energetic.
All
When I
right.
say energetic, he doesn't sit still in the class. So my mother had challenge
Okay.
with such aspects.
How old is he now? Is he now?
Joseph is 16 now.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. So the reason why I'm bringing this up because I know a lot of parents go through similar challenge. So I
Yes.
want to know how you handle this because raising kids, deciding their future, their dreams, negotiating with them, how do you encourage them to do what they're passionate about? What do you tell them? Hey, parents, I want you to study this. Parents, I want you to study this or that. So what should parents do? How can they decide? And what aspects should they be able to understand how to guide their children? What challenges do you have guiding your children? Because I watch them, all of them. I've seen brilliant children, Zoe. I've watched them speak, very brilliant, very confident in themselves. And that's another challenging aspect of parenting. So the rest of the two questions are a little bit personal, and I think it will also help people.
Okay. Let me take the first one first. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
okay.
Yeah. Raising children is another living organism, right? Yeah, because children, they are just little human beings developing, and they are different. They are different. I will first answer the question generally, and then I will answer the specific about your junior brother Joseph. Very energetic. It's very important. Like when I was talking about my family, and I said preparation is very important. So as we prepare for getting married, the same way we should prepare for having children. You know, a lot of physical preparation, intellectual preparation, emotional preparation should go into raising children. And children must be raised while they are in their mother's tummy, right? So the way we speak to them, the way we relate to them, the verbals, the non-verbals, they all come together to form a child as he is growing up. At a point, when I was raising my son, a parent also must be very watchful. It's very important to be watching your children, because sometimes you read in the book what they are supposed, or what they do at 3, what they do at 6, what they do at 9, but at the same time you have to watch your own, because you have a special case. Sometimes it falls in that line and sometimes it doesn't fall in that line. Like, for example, my son was a fast grower. Paris was just growing. I remember I used to bath him, I or the nannies. Then I think it was just 6 or 7, and he just he just told us to leave the bathroom. He just said, no longer, bathing me. That awareness came quite early, for him. Then also at a point, I think it was when he was 9, I realized that, this boy, and actually was growing tall, but I also noticed that this boy is getting more realization, and I have to stop addressing him as a boy. So I changed my language. I started saying, okay, young man, and I started intentionally respecting him. And because, as you will know, from Africa, nobody respected us, and you can only give what you got. So I was also coming from, I can say anything to my children. I gave back to them, and they must hit it, just accept it the way I say it. But I noticed, that this wasn't going well with my son, that his awareness is much higher than I thought, and that he's being brought up in a different condition, in a different environment, in a different psyche, and an African woman approach will not work here. So I must thank God, I must thank faith, I must thank anything that I was able to see that, I changed that. So I started respecting him. Instead of the commanding tone, I will ask him, can you please, would you please, all this, I will be saying, and I will be looking at myself, But all those things, they have worked well for me, because when you come with peace, you are received with peace. When you come with respect, you are received with respect. And really, I'm so blessed with my relationship with my son. I like the way we blend together. I like the way we are there for one another. He's one of my best friend and one of his best friend. I'm a mother and a big sister in his life. So I really enjoy, and I see how he makes wise decisions, and I see how he's trying, to be his best, at this young age. So about your younger brother, it's very important to understand the makeup of children, and especially in the adolescent age. I won't say it's too late for a 16 years old. It's never too late. It's never too late. But understanding is very important. Understanding what is going through. What is going through in him, and understanding is learning method. For example, we have Pearl. She's very creative. And we know that the classical form of education is not the best for Pearl. So but unfortunately we don't have an alternative now, and that requires from us a lot of persuasion, a lot of helping her, a lot of reminding her, because she's totally different. She's very she's very brilliant, but she doesn't like the classroom format. She doesn't like it. Yeah. And I read it in books. There are children like that. They are creative, they are innovative, but unfortunately she has to go through a system she doesn't enjoy for so long. So in this case, it's just persuasion. It's just, I understand what you're going through. Is okay, let's look at the options. Let's look at the options, what you can do. Like, do you want to there's a system, you may not go to school, right? Like homeschooling and do the exams, or you have to talk to the child, you know, to the person to see what he prefers. Sometimes even taking a gap year can help solve the problem. If there's an opportunity to take a gap year, normally, actually, I don't think that's a gap year, but a gap year is normally from one educational level to the other. Sometimes, you know, taking a year off and trying other things might help to balance out what the child is going through, or maybe the formal form of learning is not the best for the child. Maybe the child can learn on his own, go and do exams instead of going to the school. So it has to be talked to, not like, why are you always, why can't you sit in one place like other children? No.
That's true.
It has to be talked about. What do you want? What do you feel? Where do you feel yourself at your best? What do you do that gives you that satisfaction? Then you start trying different options to see, you know, how to help you. Because, you know, I don't know all the history of Joseph, yeah? I don't know if this is just coming from indiscipline or this is coming from who he is and from the process going on inside him.
Okay, let me give you the general image. Just like you and Perez, I'm very close to my mother.
Okay.
And she played a very important role in my life, my upbringing. So she thinks that I'll give an example of something she said about an accusation a neighbor made about me.
Okay.
She said, hey, Mama Innocent, your children came and did so thing in my house and they stole stuff. Then my mother said, my children don't steal. She said, my children don't steal. She turned, she looked at me, she said, did you do that? I said, no. And she believed, which was true, but the woman just set up an accusation like that. So that incident she did, which I was just 7 years old, but that remained in my mind till today. I grew up having that feeling that this woman has so much confidence in us. She told us, always scolding us. So that was the kind of upbringing. She's a very soft, cool woman. So seeing that the rest of us came out cool, to some extent I would say, but this particular child doesn't listen. He's hyperactive. It's true what you say about understanding children's talents too, because he particularly doesn't love schooling, but he has a lot of talent. He can draw very well. He's an artist. And he's very good in coupling and decoupling machines. If you buy a toy, when he breaks it and he's trying to fix them back and all those things. So that was the talent I discovered. And then he's very good in sports too. So that was what I told her the last time, because when I was sad because he's not with me, when I was going back to Nigeria, I got basketball, I got roller shoes, I got a lot of things. I said, look, instead of you complaining that this child is going to play with people that are not older than him, he loves basketball a lot, why can't you just go with him, encourage him, go to the court with him, stand there, watch him? She was like, oh, I have things to do. So when I went there, I took him. We went and played together, came back, and she saw that, oh, wow, okay. I had to roll a shoe. I got it and I've been practicing. I wanted to roll on it for over 3 months. I always fall all the time. Anytime I climb the shoe, I will fall. But I just gave this child the shoe the next 3 days. He's already making different moves with it.
Moves with it, yeah. So
I discovered
it would be good. It would be good to encourage him on that line.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be good. Then later in life, if he thinks he needs a formal education, I mean, you can always do GCE or anything. You know, when he feels he needs the education, he needs the diploma, it will be very serious then. But now, let's encourage his passion.
Okay, I see. Then the last 2 questions is...
yes, sir.
Yes, is about... When can you speak on the best day in your marriage with DSA, and can you speak about the saddest day, or maybe some regret or certain stuff that you think you like to cut? Because some people might think that marriage is all rosy, there are no challenges, and they might be thinking of quitting even, because whenever challenge comes in, they might be thinking of quitting, or because they love their comfort life. So can you speak on that and And in addition to that, what can you tell people to remain motivated, and how did you overcome those days that you happened to your life? So the question is, what is the saddest day and what is the happiest day with DSA? Thanks, that's all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Concerning happiest days, there are so many, there are so many that it's so, I don't know if, it's not one day. I mean, it's a year. I think almost, especially the last years, every day has been happy days. And like I said, when I was doing my presentation, I said it's also a factor, a very determinating factor is where I am now. Yeah, my awareness, my mindfulness, my understanding of life. Yeah, but concerning happiest day, I don't know. But I think, let me just say, the way it treats me, and it's just not one day. So just when you see that divine attitude, when you see that divine love, and when you see all the effort it puts into it, few men, I mean, treat their wives the way he treats me. Few men talk about their wives the way he talks about me. And this is not just in the public. I mean, the public is nothing, compared to his tenderness, his tactfulness, and all the efforts he put in making me happy, making me smile. So it's very difficult for me to just cite one event. Is about life. Concerning trials, sorrow, hardship, it used to be connected with false allegation in his life, because recently I read something. Somebody said the only things you have in marriage separately is the wedding ring. All other things, mental state, financial stress, substance abuse, all other things, it affects your family. It affects your family member. So of course, the first set of sad days, let me say it in three: graduation. The first sorrowful sad days were, of course, when at the earliest stage of the family, of the marriage, when I thought, I've made a mistake. When I thought, oh my goodness, I married the wrong man. And I was rewinding everything. I was like, where did I make a mistake? I couldn't find a place where I made a mistake. I wasn't in a hurry. I thought I had confirmation from God, and I thought I married the wrong man because of the difference in approach, the difference in psyche when you just start living together. So I think everybody goes through that. So that's, but I wanted to mention that. Then the second graduation will be when there was a threat on his life, and when I thought I would become a widow very early in my life. That was like, let me see, I mean, like 1998, 1999. That was a long time ago, about over 20 years ago. And when I thought, oh my goodness, when the threat on his life was too much, the influence he had, and I was afraid that one day I would get a call, and that would be the end. Okay, and then the third graduation of sorrow was when I started hearing people saying very bad personal things about my husband. I mean, those were very sorrowful days. Those are very bad days. I wanted to say I won't wish anybody to go through it, but I also know that what doesn't kill us make us strong. Yeah. So it's very painful to see somebody degrading, to see somebody using your husband's either strength or your weakness for personal reasons, for personal gratification, is derailing. To see people say, you know, I didn't tell you this before, I didn't tell you that before, but only getting to know that there was some personal agenda behind it. But again, that is life, and everybody must know how to overcome challenges in life. And the only thing I can say is that all those things have come to strengthen me personally, and all those things have come to strengthen our relationship. And I can say that by God's grace, we have a greater future, that our future is greater than our past. But, like you mentioned, it will be very easy to quit when you stop working on yourself. You know, recently I heard a broadcast, and somebody said, problem is part of life, but either the problem will make you or the problem will break you, depends on how you approach the problem. So if you are planning to quit, that means your approach to the problem might not be the proper approach. Of course, I understand that in relationships, sometimes separation is good. You have to be separated, and even sometimes divorce is legitimate, you know, when your life is in danger. Yeah, but I think you and I know that many people quit earlier than they are supposed to quit, just because they give the approach to the problem. It's not the right approach to problem. Yeah, so your question is really very good, very, I mean, there is no problem-free family, although I would say where the husband and wife are working on themselves, you know, they are able to deal with those problems in a very creative, in a very easier way than they used to. And I'm grateful that all these 25 years of living with Pastor Sunday has not been in vain, because if we are still dealing with childish things at 25 years of living together, then we are failing. We are failing. But I'm so grateful that we have grown and we have learned to work with each other, and we have learned to help one another more. And I think we value ourselves and we value our relationship more than we used to do. But that has come through trials and error. So thank you very much. So we have another call. So while we're expecting the call, let me just remind you about the promo, discounted book. You just have to write to dsasbooks@gmail.com. So hello, good morning, afternoon, evening. Where?
Good Good evening, Pastor Bose.
Good evening, ma'am. May I know who is on the line, please?
Okay, this is Ufoma calling.
Wow. Oh, lovely. Lovely. I'm so
Yes,
pleased.
indeed. Yes.
I'm so
Good
pleased to hear your
evening.
voice.
Same here. I was really surprised. I said, wow, Pastor Bose is on today.
Yeah, because, I can't be out of this.
I am so glad.
I can't
I'm
be
so
out of
glad.
this.
Definitely, definitely. I want to just thank you, and I don't know what to say, but it's been such a good time just listening and hearing from you, and talking about Pastor Sunday. What can we say? He's somebody that is worth celebrating, and hearing you talk about your relationship and everything, I was just thinking that it goes to show how intentional Pastor Sunday is. That everything he has done all his life, he has done it, with careful thought and intention. It's not somebody that just does things anyhow. And you both have been an example. And well, when I married my husband, I used to think my husband was, he's the best, he does this. But meeting Pastor Sunday has actually improved him. I've actually saw that even what I was celebrating was even small compared to what Pastor Sunday's influence has now even started making him do. Now I
Wow,
think people
wow.
realize that actually he should be doing, but he has rubbed us, rub on us. He's the way he treats you, and even you yourself, you are being such an inspiration to me. And just hearing this last bit you're talking about, I remember, just watching, and I used to tell somebody that, when I see the strength of Pastor Bose and the peace, it has made me to also kind of exhibit that peace and quietness and that strength, because it's such a grace, to be able to carry that, throughout everything that one is doing. And I really appreciate you, and I thank you so much for being an inspiration, and also for being a strong woman standing with Pastor Sunday, because your depth of maturity really inspires me. And every time I look at you, I'm like, Pastor Bose will be quiet if it's Pastor Bose, so just be quiet. So I keep reminding myself to carry that same grace and that same calmness that I see in you, because it's really beautiful. And I don't know what Pastor Bose would do if it's somebody else, if it's a different kind of person, But I know that your marriage is divine, because God is the one that sees the end from the beginning, and He
That's
knows how
true.
to put together the families. And it's such a beautiful family that you have. And I thank God for Pastor Sunday, because he's really done a great work, and I'm so glad for the woman that you are, and we will continue to celebrate him, because it's just such a huge blessing. It's such a huge blessing in our lives. For a lot of people think that men cannot be this good, but through Pastor Sunday, our men, I know a lot more people in the platform can begin to tell. I think I've actually heard some of our men on the platform testify of the changes that they have gone through just watching. They have made a lot of changes in their families, because we have seen a model of what a family man should be. Pastor Sunday has shown us that model, and we are really so pleased, and we are so proud of you both. And I just want to appreciate you, and thank you for being on this program today. We really love you. I'm so
Thank,
excited. I don't know if I'm making sense.
thank you. You do make sense. You do make a lot of sense. And I don't know if we have other calls, but before then, let me comment on. You see, women are different from men. So the strength of a woman is wisdom. Men, they're more aggressive. I mean, they feel well there, but being aggressive is haphazard to a woman. That's not her nature. So the strength of a woman is wisdom. The good state of a woman is wisdom. So when a woman is quiet, it's not that she doesn't know what she's doing. Maybe she does know very well what she's doing. And so when you overcome your emotion, when you're quiet and when you tap into wisdom, you often get better results than shouting back and just being hilarious. Then Sister Ofoma just mentioned that a lot of men are improving, after seeing Pastor Sunday's example. I mean, that is the nature of men, Men, naturally, they like to show off their wives, They like to show off their wife. They like to, oh, that is my wife, that is my wife. So normally, when a man hears that there is another man treating a woman better than he, that pride in him goes up, and that pride is good for us women. It goes up in him, and he wants to be the best man. He wants to be able to show off his wife and to look at my wife, she's the best, she's the best. So let the competition go on, let it continue. It will work good for us, and many women hopefully will become happier in their relationships. So let's have the next call. And like I was saying before, the promo is there, seize the opportunity, and then calling us. People have been calling. We've received 2 calls already, Moves Agent, Facebook Messenger, and hopefully. Hello, sir.
Hello, good evening, Pastor Bose.
Good evening, sir. May I know who is on the line?
This is Oyewole Abisoye Banjoko calling from London.
Hey, my good Oyewole.
Oyewole Abisoye Banjoko, your good brother calling from London.
Is that Uncle Wale?
This is Uncle Wale speaking. Yes, Pastor Bose. How are you?
You decided to tell me your full name.
The full name. I want to go all traditional. So the full name.
Nice to hear you.
Well, it was even better to even hear you and have you speaking today. It was great for me to have tuned in and actually have the partner of my very wonderful brother talking to the world on his life. The way I titled this conversation is I said I want to thank you for showing the cotton wool side of my brother rather than the iron steel version that he shows of himself.
That's true.
So it was beautiful to actually hear straight from the horse's mouth, probably the closest human being to him, actually share her side or your side of who Pastor Sunday actually is. I think it's pleasant for the world to hear that. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to you today. And also, I think it's also very important to see that, so you breaking down what what means to be number one, be him as a family man, and also for the world to understand. I have 3 children as well. And I think it's very important to be able to identify the fact that each child is different, and each child has a different understanding and a different requirement. And it is good for you to hear you break that down in terms of your 3 children and actually talk about them, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and what they need, and the guidance, both that you need as the partner to your wonderful husband, and also what the requirement that is involved in raising the children. So I think it's a great program today that you have shared with the world. I have to just say I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of him. I'm very proud of the family, because it is very unusual when you're talking to people around the world and whereby the person who is talking, all the parts. You know the husband, you know the wife, and you know the 3 children. And all I can say is Pastor Sunday and yourself have raised wonderful children. You are wonderful examples as a couple. And it is just so wonderful to, like I said, to hear you actually speak of this great man, whereby we can all learn from him, which we all learn from him. Anybody that's listened to him knows that the impact that he's had on the world has been wonderful. And also anybody that has listened to your children will understand exactly how well both of you have done in raising them to be world leaders and history makers. So I just wanted to make sure, that I just want to both for you to understand that Pastor Sunday, I am very proud of you. Pastor Bosse, I am extra proud of you. And the three wonderful children you have raised, Perez, Zoe, and Pearl, I think the world is still to see how remarkable an impact they shall make in this world. So thank you very much for your presence and being a member of this wonderful family that God has made us be a part of.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your constant support, and we are missing your food.
Pastor, well, let me announce it. I think you will see me. Well, it's supposed to be a secret, but I will be there to come and celebrate the 52nd birthday with you.
Okay.
So the food will be coming.
I will preserve my hunger. Thank you so much. My love to Auntie Amarka and all the wonderful children.
They shall hear that.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so, what Uncle Wally said is very supportive, because a person has different sides, you have family, you have ministry, you have different kind of relationship. So we shouldn't define a man just by one side, of his life. Are we done? Okay, so, and God has blessed us with 3 children, and the Banjokos family, I saw him in March, I saw him in March. Now it's me, and they also have wonderful, wonderful children, and our kids are blending well with them. So seize the opportunity for the promo. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Pastor Bosse. Good morning.
Good morning. Who is on the line, please?
This is Mabel from California.
Oh, nice to hear your voice.
Pastor Bosse.
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know what to tell you.
I hope you say something good.
Oh my God. You brought me to tears, but it's tear of joy. Thank you so very much for standing behind our God's Army General. Thank you so very much. It only takes a wise woman, it only takes a brilliant woman, it only takes a wonderful woman like you to be beside him. When you said there was a threat in his life and it was a sad day for you, I heard you. I saw your heart. But let this be clear to you. God is all the way with him.
Amen.
Nothing will happen to him. Your family is secured. Your children
you.
are wonderful. You're a wonderful woman. Your husband remains the rock of our time this time. I don't have much to tell you. I'm even trying to be so emotional now. But only to tell you, you are that good thing that God says, a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. Pastor Bosse, you are that good thing. I admire you. I admire your courage. I admire your family. Thank you so very much. You made it happen. You allowed him to, you allowed DSA to shine, and he allowed you to shine. Thank both of you so much for coming both ways, compromising each other and making it happen. Thank you so very much. I love you. I sincerely love you. I dearly love you. You are my beloved. Thank you so much, Pastor Bosse.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Blessings. Yeah, thank you very, very much. We are all humans and we need encouragement. We need sweet words. We need nice words to function, because we all go through different seasons in life. And when a person is down, we have to lift that person up, because the person might be the one that will lift us up tomorrow. Yeah. So, and women, wives, sisters, They have wonderful roles to play. Men are different from women, but when the two come together, either as brothers and sisters, husband and wife, or colleague at work, you get the synergy that produces better results. Okay, so I'm reminding you about the books. Am I ready to be a husband? Am I ready to be a wife? Successful marriage takes work, heavenly atmosphere in your family, then the happiness of a man, the happiness of a woman. All these books, I've read all these books. I like reading books on family because books on family mainly means personal development books, because to have a great family, you have to improve yourself. You have to do something to yourself to make you a better person. So I think we are done, for today. I think it's like we are done. It's like there's one more call, but I don't know if it's coming up or not. But again, let me say it again, it's never too much to thank you. Thank you for being there. Thank you for being supportive, and keep praying for us. And by God's grace, that we will be able to do what God has called us to do. And I think Pastor Sunday needs more prayer because it's on the front line. So I'm happy to have been the vessel God used to interact with you today. And
hello.
Hello, sir. Good morning, afternoon, evening. Where are you from?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, is this the Move Agent by Pastor Sunday?
Yes. What? Yeah.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. Hello. Good afternoon.
Yeah, I think we lost that call, so we'll just end. Here. God bless you, and wherever you are, if it's morning, I wish you a wonderful day. If it's afternoon, I pray that your day end well, and if it's evening, I wish you a good night rest. God bless you.